My first Bassmaster Open. I've been looking forward to this since November. What is that, 6 months ago or something like that? When I signed up for this thing, I was on the waiting list for a long time to fish this tournament. And then about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got the word that, hey, they're going to let me fish it. So really excited to be fishing my first Bassmaster Open here on Kerr Lake. I haven't been on the lake in a while. There's been a long off limits period. So first time on it in a while. I think I fished it about mid-March, maybe late March. But since then I haven't been on. This is one of my most favorite lakes in the country to fish. I've got some good history here, I've got some bad history here, I've got a lot of experience here for sure. And so when I saw a Bassmaster Open was coming here, I wanted to make sure I tried to do all I can to try to participate in it. So we've got about 5 days of practice for this thing. And we've got a lot of water to cover. We got a lot of things to check. I think I've got a good plan for my practice here. I'm going to start off by running a lot of my older stuff that I got history on, just to check it, see if there's fish around, see if I can still get bit the way I like to get bit here. And then later in the week, we're going to start exploring some new water and try to find some real good quality fish out here. Kerr Lake, the problem with Kerr Lake is everybody weighs in 9 to 11 pounds. I don't want to say it's easy to catch that, but it's not difficult because there's so many 2-pounders here. So the problem with Kerr Lake is finding the 3.5, the 4s, the 4.5s, and the 5s. If you're able to find that quality, that kind of quality, you can really set yourself apart from the field. Honestly, that's something I've always struggled with here. I'll catch a 4 here or there, but mainly it's always 2.5, 2 3/4, those types of fish. So we're gonna have to try to find some quality this week. This is a Bassmaster Open. You're fishing against the best guys in the country. I fished some Toyota Series events before. I fished BFLs all the time. This is a different level of competition. And so your 9, 10, 11 pound bags, you're going to get your feelings hurt. You're fishing against the best of the best, honestly. As far as, I don't even want to say amateur anglers go, because there's true professionals fishing this thing. There's elite series guys that are fishing this thing. And so the level of competition in this event is the best I've ever fished against, period. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm not fishing against those guys, and I think we all need to keep that in mind as tournament anglers. You're not fishing against the 224 other anglers that are fishing this thing. We're fishing against we're fishing against the bass, So that's where our competition is. It's the fish, not the guys. And we'll try to beat the bass, and we'll let the cards lay how they may at the end of the day. So I just put in at Nutbush. Practice has officially started. It started by my watch at 6:02 a.m. It is just now getting safe light. It's about 6:24 a.m. So we're going to run around here, see if we can get on something. As you can see, it's raining. It's going to be raining all day. Not sure how much footage you'll see, how long I'll keep the camera out. But I'm going to let you guys tag along for as much as I can here today. And we're going to get things started. See that? See that fish jump? You guys have missed a little bit of action this morning. Just stopped raining. I mean, just stopped. We might have a 3-pounder here, boys. We might have a 3-pounder. 2 3/4 anyway. Drop shot. Yep, that's a 3-pounder. That's a 3-pounder. So yeah, you guys have missed a little bit this morning. That ain't a bad one right there. That ain't a bad one. So yeah, good looking 3-pounder. It's been raining all day. What time is it now? It's about 10 o'clock. It's been raining non-stop since I blasted off this morning. And so I didn't feel like waterproofing the camera and all that kind of stuff. So I just put it away and so I could focus on fishing anyway. But I have caught, that was my third keeper of the day, and I've caught 2 other small dinks, 3 other small dinks. What I've seen so far is the fish they're like moving. This overcast, there's just a lot of movement, and they're not hunkering down to one spot. You know what I mean? They're doing a lot of moving. I can follow them on my active target, and they're just moving. They're not set up on anything. I'll go hit a brush pile when there's nothing in the brush pile, but there'll be fish moving in and out of it. Those kind of fish are a little bit harder to catch unless you can find them in multiples. And that fish was a single fish that was sitting on a big stump. That was my best fish of the day. I've caught 2 other keepers that were about 2 pounds or so. So yeah, feels good. Those are the kind you need out here on cars. Those 3-pounders, those chunky 3-pounders. They'll go a long, long way for you. Not a big one, but I love it when a plan pays off. That last fish that I caught had really sharp teeth, and I've been doing a lot of research on bass fishing. And they say when they have sharp teeth, it means they're eating shad or some sort of bait fish, herring probably here. But if they're eating bait fish, the perfect thing to throw is a little swim bait. So as soon as I pick that up and start throwing it, I get bit, which is really cool. Swim bait could be a player. Could be a player. It's in the back of his throat so you can't see it. I mean, not a giant. It's a bite. You can try to continue to dial that in. That's good. It ain't great though. It's good. And that's good for me because this is a spot that I've been fishing for 3 years, and I just wanted to check it to see if it's possible. And there's a ton of bait down there. And this fish was under a bait ball. And scooped. I'm gonna tell you something else too, man. When I first got here this morning, there was like nobody on the lake, nobody. But it's well past lunchtime now, and there is a lot of people, and they're fishing stuff that's stuff I like. They're kind of, I mean, I don't know what to think about it, but there is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure here that I've seen since about 9 o'clock. Serious? Oh my God. Did you see that? Dude, that was a 4.5, maybe a 5-pounder. He ate this jig at the boat. Wow. That It's the kind that you win with. Oh, you had to see it. I'm sure you saw it. Yeah, gee. I don't know what that fish was on. Was it just swimming? Maybe it was just a lucky bite. I don't know. The swim bait's going to play. I mean, the swim bait's going to play. They're eating it good. You guys can't even see it. They're eating it good. I mean, we've got some spots on it. I think they say that's what the spots mean. The swim bait's going to play. Ain't no doubt about it. I'm catching them with it all day. Caught some okay ones with it. Caught some small ones with it. It's a fun way to fish too. Just going to play for sure. Something like that. Came back out to the main lake. I fished shallow for a long time. Shallow bushes, and I just didn't do a whole lot. Didn't do anything really. But I come back out to the main lake, point the boat into the wind, and I can call my shot. So we're gonna call that day one. I'm not going to be done. I got like 2 more hours of fishing left, but I think that's a good place for us to start or stop. We'll start back up in the morning. And today wasn't a bad day. It's a good first day. Kind of got the feel, the lay of the lake again. And we caught some fish. And we got something to build off of, I think. So, see you in the morning. Fellas, good morning. Literally my first cast of the day. Literally. 2.5 pounder. I'm getting off of this. No use even throwing it anymore. This is where I ended my day yesterday, and it was so good. And I saw so much good stuff on it. I said, I want to start here. I want to see if these fish will be on here first thing in the morning, and apparently they are. So I didn't even see that fish on live scope. Just did. So it's a good spot. You guys got to see this, man. You guys got to see this. I've had a few firsts this year. I've had my first mag draft fish. I've had a first A-rig fish, and now I got my first Damiki rig fish. And it's a small keeper. But I was throwing the swim bait, and I've been throwing it, I've been looking at fish for like 30 minutes. Trying to get, and they started to follow the swim bait now. And we all know when you're fishing with live scope and you start seeing that, it's the most irritating thing ever. But anyway, I said, okay, well, they're not eating that. Maybe they want something a little bit more finesse, because as you can see, there's basically no wind this morning. It's slick, it's calm, a little bit of cloud cover. So I threw something much more finessey and got bit. So I'll have to keep that in my back pocket, because I was just about to say, if I don't get bit on this Damiki rig, I'm going to put it up, not worry about it anymore. But that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's awesome. That's another one on the Damiki rig. So if you don't take anything from this video you need to know if you're fishing Kerr, the wind is blowing, you throw moving bait, swim bait, something with a paddle tail, slick calm, bluebird skies, throw something like that to Mickey rig. Drop shot. I'm giving you guys some really good info. Who in the world else is giving you guys this kind of info on Kerr Lake on YouTube? Nobody. Better like it. Better like the video. Oh, spotted bass. Oh my God, did you guys see that? Look at this. Got a little bit to unpack here. Look at that spotted bass. Get out of here. Now, yeah. Look at what he spit up. He spit this up all over my Lowrance. Look at that. I don't know what that is. What do you think it is? It smells like fish. But anyway, it's got a little silver in it. It's got to be a little shad. Anyway, that was a spotted bass on Kerr. They're starting to get in here, and I don't care for it, to be honest with you. But that fish was around some bait, and I'm not real excited about catching that fish for two reasons. One, it's a spot. Two, on this lake you can't chase bait. Like, you cannot find bait on a Friday or the day before a tournament and then expect that bait to be there, you know, the next day for a tournament day. It just moves all the time. So that's just a random spot, and I was chasing some bait, no big deal. But it was pretty cool to see him spit up that big old half-eaten shad that's all over my graph now. Kind of got tired of messing around out there with the I wouldn't call them dinks, but the ones that aren't going to help me win this tournament. So I came shallow, still catching the dinks back shallow in the back of a pocket around bait. There's a bait ball down there. Kerr Lake special. So good news and bad news. The good news is I just caught two fish out of the same brush pile with two different baits. Bad news is they're both dinks, but that is an active brush pile, which means it's something that you can count on that has a high probability of having a fish in it, you know, on tournament day. It's got maybe not high probability, but it's better than average. I mean, you catch two out of it, it means there's, you know, it's a good spot. Well, nothing to write home about, but it's still fun catching them. So look, I think we're going to call that a day for you guys. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. So I got about 4 or 5 more hours left out here, but it's probably a good point to end the video. I fished shallow a ton today. Just looking, trying to find a big bite, like the one I caught yesterday or didn't catch yesterday. It just couldn't I can't get bit shallow at all. And I don't see anything shallow. I don't see any fish bedding. I don't see any fry, which is, I mean, I do think that some fish have already spawned here. So I don't see any fry. I don't see any males protecting beds or protecting fry. But every time I come offshore, I'm able to see some fish and catch fish pretty consistently. Sometimes it takes a lot of finessing, but I'm still able to get bit a little bit out here. So I know of two ways to catch big fish, and that's either super shallow or super deep. And so I fished a lot of super shallow stuff today that you didn't see because I didn't catch anything. But I'm going to spend the rest of the day kind of playing out offshore, really offshore. Like that fish there came out of, that fish was in 22. So we're going to try to back up off the bank even further and see if I can figure out how to catch a big suspended fish or something like that. We're going to try to do a little bit of that. So tomorrow's going to be extremely terrible weather. At least that's what they're calling for right now. Don't know what you'll see tomorrow. Thunderstorms, heavy rain, that kind of thing. So we'll see though. The very, very bare minimum, I'll be back here Monday. Still trying to put the pieces together to the puzzle. Morning. Boat over there, you can see that. So good morning. Not a giant to start the day, but 2 1/4, something like that. I always like to look at my fish to see if he can tell me anything. I don't see much. You guys kind of missed a little bit this morning. It was fairly exciting. Terrible rain came through. Just terrible, man. Like sideways kind of rain, you know? So anyway, I dealt with that for a little while. It's 9:30 now. I think the rain's moved out. So we got another full day out here, I guess. One thing that I keep track of all the time, hold on, is the lake levels. Can you guys see that? You should be able to see that. 302.43. Friday, it was 301.25. So it's rose 1 1/4 foot, which is roughly 16 inches. Now it's rising, I think, because they got the dam shut off. And when that dam is not open, I promise you, this lake fishes differently. That's kind of why my swim bait bite has died off this weekend. Because I don't think they run that dam the majority of the time during the weekend. I think they run it Monday through Friday, depending on what's going on. And in the weekends, they turn it off. I don't know. All I'm telling you is the lake fish is different. That's why my swim bait bite hasn't been as good since Friday. So you're having to finesse them a little bit with that Demiki rig, drop shot, shaky head, whatever. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you're ever fishing here and you're really on them really good, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're smoking them. And then Saturday, and it's like, well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just not getting bit. What's going on? The fish act differently if there's no current being pulled through that dam. Keep that in the back of your mind. It took me a long time to figure that out. That's the kind we're looking, sort of. Maybe a hair bigger. Football jig. Whew, I'm out in the middle of the lake. This is about as offshore as you can get. I don't know, 2 1/2 something. About as offshore as you can get, and I just drug this jig across it. And she ate it. A little better quality there. That's what they do. Absolutely hate it. I let that fish get too much. Well, good morning again. It is day, what is it? Day 4 out here. We ate that thing. Yeah, it's day 4, small keeper. We're dealing with post-front conditions today. Know anything about bass fishing, you know, post-front is about the hardest. It's about the hardest it can get for bass fishing, right? So we're gonna have to fish slow today. We're gonna have to drag some stuff. The conditions Wednesday should mirror this. It's gonna be really close. Temperature drop. And it's like 45 degrees this morning. So what's going on right now is kind of going to be the way this thing is going to fish Wednesday, the first day of this tournament. So it's actually a pretty good practice day. And now I don't want to stick too many fish today. I just want to verify I can get bit a few different ways, a few different places, and just continue to dial in a pattern. I would like to find a way to catch a big fish. I just, you know, the biggest fish I've caught out here, actually like put in the boat in 4 days now, has been like a 3-pounder, 3 1/4, something like that. And it was only one of them. I did lose a big fish, but other than that, it's been really tough to find a big bite. So got to continue to look, continue to grind. Post front, 25 foot of water. If you don't believe me, I'll show you in a second. And it got him right in the nose, my friend. It's not a big one though. God, it's just Kerr Lake special. 2-pounder, you know. Post front, fishing slow as crap. Not the funnest way to fish, but whenever you're getting a bite, that's fun. That could be the deepest I've ever caught one here. I think it is 25 foot. I'll let you look at it. I'll let you see what I just caught that fish off of. An offshore spot that people ride over all the time. And that is my favorite way to fish. Fish the stuff that nobody can see with their eyes. This is a community hole, no doubt. All right, I'm not even going to hide it. It's an old trestle. And everybody fishes it. But this is my active target too. See that stump? I don't know if that's a stump or a piece of rock or whatever it is. That's what that fish was on. And you can see that was, I guess, 23 foot of water. So no, I've caught one here in 20, about that before. So it's not the deepest one ever, but you can see that's where I'm at. And look, I'm not, like I say, I'm not hiding. This is an old trestle. People fish it all the time, and I already got a waypoint on it. And so yeah, that's what we're targeting today, is just that deep water structure. I think in post front conditions, bass move deeper, so we're going to fish deeper. Right behind me, I was trying to hide the fish, but he flopped everywhere, so I think he saw it. And I caught that fish off a rock pile on a swim bait, a big swim bait. Come on. I've been fishing this bank for about 3 years, and I hadn't fished it all 4 or 5 days here, and I just wanted to check it one last time. I fished it earlier in the year and never got bit off of it, so I just wanted to see when it was around. That one was about 2 3/4. He was pushing 3 pounds. So actually, I'm gonna call that a day. Did okay today. Wasn't great. Wasn't terrible. I think we've got a few ways to catch a few fish, right? I think I'm on a pattern where I can put together a limit. How good of a limit? I don't know. Is it the winning pattern? I don't think so. But it could turn into the winning pattern if these 2-pounders turn into 4-pounders. So we have one more day before this tournament starts, and tomorrow is really only a half a day. Debating on whether to fish tomorrow or not. I have seen sometimes where fishing on a day before a tournament can really help. And then most recently, not fishing the day before a tournament hurt. So I need to make up my mind whether or not to fish tomorrow. I'm leaning towards fishing and putting in up the river. Actually, up there by the launch ramp. This tournament's going out of Clarksville. I've never even put in at that ramp before, so I'm leaning towards putting in up there and just fun fishing tomorrow. I'm doing all my rigging tonight, just getting everything ready for this tournament. I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm running. I know how I'm going to fish this. So I have my game plan ready, but I think I can go fishing tomorrow and just have a fun day on the water and just keep trying to get dialed into the thing. Caught him and decided to face. Oh. Get everything fine-tuned, and we're not going to fish long today. We have to be off the water by 1, and truthfully, I got off the water. I got out here very late today. I slept in this morning trying to get some rest. So anyway, we'll fish for a few hours, see what happens up this way. Another Kerr Lake special cranking. Okay, that is a wrap from Kerr Lake. You guys followed me around this lake for 5 days. You saw how I fished it. You saw how I'm able to get bit. You got some real good insider information. I kind of showed you guys a lot, like bait-wise, color-wise, waypoint-wise. I think I even showed you some waypoints there a couple of days ago. You guys have seen a lot in this video, and I'm sure it's a long video. It's probably at least 30 minutes. I don't know. But if you're still watching, appreciate you watching here at the end of it. And so, yeah, that was the practice for this Bassmaster Open. And it's a big tournament. I think it's the biggest tournament I've ever been in, 225 boats. Big not only in numbers, but as far as the number of people fishing it, but what's at stake, what's on the line, what you're fishing for, the notoriety that Bassmaster has. I've fished MLF for a long time, but MLF is right here and Bassmaster's up here. Does that make sense? It's just Bass is the organization of choice. It's the top of the top, and being able to fish a Bassmaster Open against some of the best professionals in the industry. It just means a lot to me, this event, and I want to do good. I put a lot of time in out here. Looking back over the last 5 days, I don't know what else I could have done. I could have maybe went and fished the river a little bit above Clarksville. I knew there was some rain coming, and I knew it was going to get muddy up there, and I didn't even want to waste time up there. So I primarily, kept trying to find stuff that I like and stuff that I was able to catch fish on the lower half of the lake. That's where I'm comfortable at. That's where I like to fish. That's that's where the clear water is on the lake. Once you get west of Eastland Creek, it starts to get stained and muddied up a little bit. And I don't know, I'm just more comfortable down in the clear water throwing 7 or 8 pound line. I just like to fish that way. And as you saw, we were able to get bit. We were able to get bit on a spinning rod. And that's how most of my fish were caught. And I never really figured out a way to consistently catch big fish. I think over the course of practice, I only caught 1 4-pounder, and that fish got off in the boat, and it was a random fish that randomly bit, and so you can't hold a candle to that at all. So I'm going to go tomorrow, and I'm going to try to get as many bites as I can. I'm going to put a lot of effort and a lot of faith into my active target, and I'm going offshore, and I'm supposed to blow again tomorrow. And I don't just mean blow, it's supposed to howl. All right, we're going to be gusting to 30 miles an hour at times. It's tough for 2 reasons. Number one, it's difficult to move around the lake, for one. And then number 2, it makes sitting there in it really tough to fish. And waves crashing over the front of the bow. It's just tough to fish in those kinds of conditions. I got burnt earlier this year on Smith Mountain Lake when that happened. So we're gonna have to find a way, absolutely find a way to be catch fish tomorrow and to catch fish Thursday. It's a 2-day event. The top 10 guys fished day 3 of this thing, and that's for all the marbles. And I feel fortunate that I'm able to I got my number called to go fish this event. I was on the wait list for a long time, and I feel fortunate to be able to fish. Feel fortunate to have found a way to pay for it. It's not a cheap tournament. It's $1,800 to go fish this, out of your own boat. $1,800. That's very, very, very expensive. You factor in travel costs associated with that, gas, hotel, all that kind of stuff. Luckily, I don't need a hotel. I live close enough to the lake where I can just drive back and forth every day. But very, very, very expensive to go fish these things. So it's not a cheap tournament, but it's, like I said, it's Bassmaster. And so being able to be associated with that organization for a tournament means a lot to me. It's been a while since I fished a BASS event. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys have watched me for 5 days. I'm not sure how tomorrow is going to work out. I mean, like I said, my plan is to go get as many bites as I can. If I get 30 bites tomorrow, if I catch 30 fish tomorrow, if I catch 20 fish tomorrow, we're hoping that a couple of those, we're hoping for 5 keepers, of course, but of those 5 keepers, a couple of them are considerably better than average. If you're able to do that, if you're able to get enough bites and to finally run into a couple that'll help you put you over the top, I promise you, Kerr Lake right now, a 4-pounder will go a long, long ways. 15 pounds a day is what I'm estimating to make the day 3 cut. 17 pounds a day to win the thing. Maybe somebody will catch 19 one day and then drop off 14 and then 16 the next day, the third day to win it. Something like that. But on average, 15 a day to get to the third day, top 10. And then to win it, you're going to need a little bit more than that. So that's my estimation. That's what I'm going for. I've caught a lot of 9, 10, 11 pound bags here. I've caught a few 13 pound bags here. I've caught one 15 pound bag here. So got my work cut out for me, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. I know I'm not a superior tournament angler. I know I don't have the ability to show up without practicing, without anything, and just find a way to catch 20 pounds every tournament. I know I don't have that ability. Some guys just have that knack, and I'm not one of them. But I have a considerable amount of passion and joy for the sport, and I just love it. I flat out love being out there. I love competing. And one last thing about competing, you're absolutely fishing against 224 of the best anglers in the country this week, right? But you can't look at it that way. And I think I've grown in that aspect of the game where I feel like, oh, I got to beat this person. I got to beat that person. Or he's so good out here. I don't know how I'll ever beat him out here. You know, I've grown enough as an angler over the last 7 years to know that you're not competing against them. You're not. You're competing against the green fish swimming, you know, in the water. We're competing against them. You know, you beat the fish for that day, and then you just count the cards at the end of the day and see where everything lines up. So I'm not worried about going out there and having to compete against Elite Series anglers like Shane Lineberger, David Williams. Who else is fishing this thing that's on the Elite Series? There's several, right? So you're literally going up against pros, you know. But as an amateur angler like me, you gotta put that that doesn't matter. Who cares about the Raptor boats? Who cares about the Rap trucks? You know, who cares about the media team following around whoever's out there, right? You're fishing against the fish. So I got a firm grasp of that now. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to get going. I'm going to get to bed early tonight. Got to get up early in the morning. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. Appreciate you guys watching.